First off, I want to say, Mom, I'm driving very safely. I normally only drive with one arm anyway, and I'm watching the road, so don't worry. I'm perfectly safe right now, doing a good job of driving. I've been meaning to vlog about this topic for a while that's been on my head, and I just haven't. I want to talk about celebrities, and I've thought this for a long time, that why do we have celebrities? Like, where did that start? I know it started with, like, kings and queens, which I find so funny, because we came over to America so we could have freedom from that, and yet we still worship people who are famous. And don't pretend you don't, because everyone has their favorite famous person, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I find it very interesting that we, along with all the famous people who do really good things, that we also like to watch the people who don't stand for anything, don't do much charity work, and really, especially the people who aren't even famous for anything except for being famous. And I don't need to say names. You guys can, I'm sure you can think of someone who's famous just for being famous or because their family's famous, and it's a little silly. Does it mean anything significant that for my entire ride I'm driving behind a hearse? Is that like bad omen or anything? Do you know? Anyone? So I've always thought it would be really interesting to do some sort of media experiment. You would have to get like every single tabloid and magazine and newspaper involved, and you would pick one person, like one random person, not famous, from somewhere not important, like, or not significant, and make them famous. As in, just if all the tabloids one day started printing like, today Corey Fisher was spotted at Walmart shopping for new shorts. What if like every tabloid got into that and picked out this one random person but didn't tell like the general public that they were doing it? How interesting would that be? And would people, I'm sure people would initially question, why is this person famous? What did they do to suddenly be famous? And why are all the tabloids suddenly like care about what this person's doing? But if everyone was in on it, I feel like eventually that person would just be famous. Everyone would want to know what they were doing. Everyone would be like, oh, what's Corey doing today? What is she wearing? Oh, whatever she's wearing, I want to wear that. Oh, who is she dating? Who is she going out with? Don't you think that would, I really think that because our lives are controlled so much by what newspapers and magazines and websites promote, we could just so easily pick out a random person and start promoting them, and then they would be famous. And I just think it would work. I think it'd be a really interesting social project. So I was thinking about this while I was driving, because I have nothing else to do. And I was thinking about, what if your level of celebrity status, like how famous you were, was entirely dependent on how good of a person you were, or like how eco-friendly you were? You know, wouldn't that be great? Then like Hank Green would be like way up there. That would be awesome. And you know, like Al Gore, whatever. But along with that reality show idea featuring all the most famous people, who would obviously be all these people who were like super eco-friendly, and it was like a contest for who could be the most green, like have the most green like homes, and that would inspire so many people to be more green and recycle and do all the green things, buy the right light bulbs, use the right kind of like, buy those washing machines that are so efficient. And you know, how many rich people spend so much money on nice cars that don't get good gas mileage because it's what like famous people drive? What if all the famous people only bought the most eco-friendly cars? Still following the hearse. It's weird. That's my reality show idea. I think famous people should be good people. And, you know, they can still be beautiful people. There's nothing wrong. I'm sure there are plenty of beautiful people who are also very eco-friendly and, you know, want to save the world and want to do great things, like rock on Angelina Jolie, but there's a lot more like her who are not famous, so...